Today we're going to attempt to renew the drive belt on a John Deere X155R lawn tractor. As you can see, we have already removed the deck and then raise the tractor as much as we can using ramps and blocks of wood. The next stage is to remove the back panel. This is done by removing 4 bolts, which allows the back panel to drop backwards, and then you can access 3 bolts either side which hold these arms into place. You can see where these 3 bolts are. They're here, here and here. A little bit tricky. The rear chute then needs to be removed, and that can be done by cutting the cable tie which attaches it to the bar going across the machine, and then dropping the chute down underneath. You definitely need your machine to be raised up to be able to do this. Once that's done, you have access to the back of your machine, and you can get to the rear pulley and remove the belt quite easily from the rear pulley. Should it be a bit stubborn, you can cut the belt and take it off that way. With the belt still intact, you'll then need to remove these 2 pulleys with 15mm nuts to enable the belt to be taken off from those points. Going underneath, there are 3 further pulleys that need to be taken off to be able to get the drive belt from around those. 2 of these are accessible with 15mm sockets, but it looks like the 3rd one on the left going to have to be undone with a 15mm spanner. Let's have a go. 2 pulleys come off quite easy, but the 3rd one, I did manage to get my impactor onto it with a socket, 15mm socket, and I loosened it enough to be able to slip the belt out from the side. If you try and loosen it all the way off, you'll jam your socket onto this plate, which I actually did. Next obstacle to get around is the steering rack or the steering column. To do that, we need to remove this cog and pull the steering column up. That come off quite easily with a 19mm socket using an impactor, and I should now be able to lift the steering column up to be able to get the belt around the column. I now need to move on to the power takeoff clutch, which has a 16mm bolt holding it. Hopefully that will allow me to drop the belt. Undo the bolt on the bottom of the power takeoff, and then the power takeoff can be swiveled around anti-clockwise, and then that will then drop down. Make sure you've got a flat blade screwdriver, because you will need to disconnect the power feed to the power takeoff. You'll then be able to remove the belt and drag it backwards out of the machine. Well, there it is, and you can see it's in a bit of a sorry state. Probably why it came disconnected from the pulley. So just got to wait now for a new one to arrive, and then we'll have a go at putting it back on.